On August 14, 1945, Japan's surrender marked a pivotal moment in world history, effectively bringing an end to World War II. This decision came after years of intense conflict, which had resulted in immense loss of life and widespread destruction across the globe. The surrender was officially announced by Emperor Hirohito, signaling Japan's acceptance of the Allied demands outlined in the Potsdam Declaration. This momentous event not only concluded the war in the Pacific but also set the stage for a new era in international relations. The significance of Japan's surrender cannot be overstated. It represented the culmination of a long and arduous struggle that involved countless nations and millions of soldiers and civilians. The end of hostilities allowed for the beginning of reconstruction efforts in war-torn countries and laid the groundwork for the establishment of the United Nations, aimed at preventing future conflicts. VJ Day, or Victory over Japan Day, celebrated on August 15, 1945, became a symbol of hope and relief for many around the world. It marked not just the end of a devastating war, but also the beginning of a new chapter in global history. The impact of this day resonates even today, as it serves as a reminder of the importance of diplomacy and cooperation in maintaining peace. By understanding the significance of Japan's surrender, we can appreciate the lessons learned from this tumultuous period and the ongoing efforts to foster global harmony. The context leading up to Japan's surrender in World War II is rooted in a series of significant events that unfolded over several years. The war began in 1939, but Japan's aggressive expansion in Asia and the Pacific had already set the stage for conflict. Key battles and turning points in the Pacific theater played a crucial role in Japan's eventual defeat. The attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941 propelled the United States into the war, igniting a fierce struggle against Japanese forces. One of the major turning points came with the Battle of Midway in June 1942, where the U.S. Navy dealt a devastating blow to the Japanese fleet, shifting the balance of power in the Pacific. Subsequent victories at Guadalcanal and the Philippines further weakened Japan's military capabilities. The relentless island-hopping campaign by Allied forces, which aimed to capture strategic islands, significantly diminished Japan's resources and morale. As the war progressed, the Allies, particularly the United States, intensified their efforts to pressure Japan into surrendering. The strategic bombings of Japanese cities, including the devastating raids on Tokyo and the firebombing of other urban centers, caused widespread destruction and civilian casualties. The culmination of this pressure was the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, which ultimately forced Japan to confront the reality of its situation. These events collectively created an environment where surrender became the only viable option for Japan, leading to the historic announcement on August 14, 1945. Emperor Hirohito's decision to announce Japan's surrender on August 14, 1945, was a momentous turning point for the nation and the world. As the figurehead of the Japanese state, Hirohito's role was significant in legitimizing the surrender, which marked a departure from Japan's militaristic past. His announcement signified a commitment to peace and a willingness to accept the consequences of the war, ultimately reshaping Japan's identity in the post-war era. The announcement was made through a radio broadcast, a groundbreaking method at the time, allowing Hirohito's voice to reach millions of Japanese citizens. In his address, he referred to the new atomic bomb and the dire situation facing the nation, emphasizing the need to end the conflict to prevent further suffering. The immediate effects were profound. The announcement brought a sense of relief to many who had endured years of hardship and loss, but it also led to confusion and disbelief among those who had been raised to view the emperor as a divine figure. Public reaction in Japan was mixed. While some celebrated the end of the war, others were shocked and disillusioned, grappling with the reality of defeat. Around the world, the announcement was met with jubilation, particularly in Allied nations, where it signified the end of a long and brutal conflict. Hirohito's decision not only changed the course of Japan's history, but also had lasting implications for global peace and diplomacy in the years to come. The Allies laid out clear and firm terms for Japan's surrender, which were primarily articulated in the Potsdam Declaration issued on July 26, 1945. The key terms included the unconditional surrender of Japanese armed forces, the dismantling of Japan's militaristic government, and the establishment of a democratic framework. Additionally, the declaration emphasized the need for Japan to accept accountability for its wartime actions, and to ensure that its future would be free from militarism. The Allies also made it clear that Japan would face severe consequences if it did not comply with these terms. Japan's acceptance of these terms came after a devastating series of events, including the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Faced with overwhelming military pressure and the dire consequences of continued resistance, the Japanese government recognized that surrender was the only viable option to prevent further destruction and loss of life. This acceptance marked a significant shift in Japan's trajectory, leading to the end of its imperial ambitions and the beginning of a new era focused on reconstruction and peace. The importance of unconditional surrender in this context cannot be overstated. It served as a crucial principle for the Allies, ensuring that Japan could not negotiate terms that would allow it to retain any semblance of its former militaristic power. This approach aimed to prevent the resurgence of militarism and to promote a stable and peaceful post-war environment, ultimately shaping Japan's future as a democratic nation committed to peace and cooperation on the global stage. Victory over Japan Day, commonly known as VJ Day, holds immense significance as it marks the official end of World War II on August 15, 1945. This day is commemorated in various countries around the world, particularly in the United States, where it is celebrated with parades, fireworks, and public gatherings. In Japan, the day is observed with a more somber reflection on the war's impact, focusing on peace and reconciliation. Many nations hold memorial services to honor the lives lost during the conflict, emphasizing the importance of remembering history to prevent future wars. The emotions that followed the announcement of Japan's surrender were a mix of relief, joy, and sorrow. In the United States and other Allied nations, celebrations erupted as people took to the streets, waving flags and expressing their gratitude for the end of hostilities. Iconic images, such as the famous photograph of a sailor kissing a nurse in Times Square, encapsulated the exuberance of the moment. However, there was also a profound sense of loss and reflection on the sacrifices made during the war. VJ Day is crucial in the context of peace and recovery, symbolizing not just the end of a devastating conflict, but also the beginning of a new era, focused on rebuilding and fostering international cooperation. The day serves as a reminder of the importance of diplomacy and understanding in maintaining global peace, encouraging nations to work together to prevent the recurrence of such widespread devastation. August 14, 1945, stands as a monumental date in world history, marking Japan's surrender and the official end of World War II. This event not only concluded years of devastating conflict, but also reshaped the geopolitical landscape, leading to the emergence of new superpowers and the onset of the Cold War. The surrender initiated a transformative period for Japan, paving the way for its reconstruction and fostering new relationships with the Allies. As we reflect on the significance of this day, it is essential to consider the lessons learned from this pivotal moment. The importance of diplomacy, cooperation, and the commitment to peace cannot be overstated. Understanding the consequences of war and the value of international collaboration is crucial in preventing future conflicts and promoting global stability. If you found this discussion insightful, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel for more engaging content on historical events and their lasting impacts. Don't forget to like this video and share it with friends and family who might also be interested in learning about the complexities of our world history. Together we can foster a deeper understanding of the past and its relevance to our present and future. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.